Hey Novni, welcome. Must be late where you are, huh? Fathomless Trench. Continue our game. I appreciate the dedication, or at least dropping by for a little bit. Nice. Hopefully it doesn't lag like last time. What sucks about not being a Twitch... I don't know if affiliates get lower quality ratings or whatever, but if you're not like one of the big streamers on Twitch, you don't get quality settings for your stream. There's not like an auto quality. It's all just the one quality that you put out. So I have like 4500 bitrate or whatever, and it won't lower that. So like if your internet isn't good, it'll just lag, which sucks. Kind of a bummer. And if I lower my bitrate, the game won't look as good, so. Okay. Oh yeah, we got a million chapters to read here. We're on number 2. Once I too roamed free. Oh, this is in the words of Jomer Manymane, the Alpha Chief. I remember well those days in which I was called Chief. I traveled all the world over on my 4 good paws, and I was well adored. I wanted to grow stronger. Here at last I have. I shall not mince my words. This place shall either harden you or kill you. It shall haunt you with old memories. You share the exile's plight. My charge is to alleviate the sting of it for you, a little bit, and to prolong your stay, but only for as long as needed. Your charge is to return. We call this place the downside for a reason, but in time here you can learn to eat, to seek out shelter, and to find a certain beauty in unlikely places. Okay, so some of these are only like 1 page, which is kind of nice. I thought each of these chapters was going to be a bunch. Sea of Solis. In the words of Molten Melith, the Wild Witch. So this one's got multiple pages. What's this? Okay. Oh, wait. Forsaken Lands. Okay. Years upon long years we spent distilling life essence from many things, which all once writhed under the auspices of their mortality, which we ourselves cut short. I'm not sure if that's auspices or auspices. In this we have no regrets, for we learned much, and so, we think, did they. We earned the title Witch, and were forced to flee into the downside. Here we encountered Solia Mur, and soon we gained an understanding of each other. He bade us circumnavigate these lands and catalog their findings. We felt a strong desire to expose the secrets of this land. He wished to yield benefit to those who followed in our wake. Indulge us both then. Beyond a shallow, sickly gulf, our voyage drew increasingly forbidding and much harder to explain. How could a sea exist here, at the bottom of the world? We could not deduce whence sprang the carcasses of ancient sailing ships we found throughout the Sea of Solace, though the warnings that they signified we duly noted. It was here we first met Ories, called the Underking, who brazenly assaulted our small skiff, for we had trespassed in his waters. But then the Underking relented, for he witnessed Solia Mur in all his doom and glory. Soon he would side with us. Then with the Underking we sailed forth into a tempest beyond reasoning or measure. Mount Aladil. Gaining the summit of the sacred Mount Aladil involved no small amount of sacrifice and sorcery, in varying proportion. The mountain's energies were palpable. The sensation that we felt, indescribable. The lands we stood upon were closer to the stars than to the world we knew. It was upon this highest point in all the downside that we first made efforts to concoct this tome, which you now read. It was there that we were stricken with a vision of the cycle of the rites, and felt together for the first, a sense of freedom unlike any we experienced before. But that is a subject which our comrades shall illuminate in greater detail. 4. Celestial landmarks, in the words of Luce Glory and 100 Minds the Scholar. So each of these chapters is dedicated to one of the scribes, basically. There's 8. 8 chapters, 8 scribes. Do you feel a kinship with the stars? You owe your everything to them, perhaps one day even your freedom. I chased the stars across the river of my genealogy until they led me here. I demanded they explain to me the paradox of knowledge. For how is it that something can be shared, but still contained within ourselves in its entirety? The stars did not respond, but set me on a quest. I sought the 9 landmarks, which they revealed to me so that someday I would reveal their mysteries to you. These landmarks, emissaries of the stars, are 9 lenses through which we see the land, and see ourselves in a new light. Much can be said about the Sisters of the Arch, whom we banished to the great beyond for deeds irredeemable. Suffice it, the details of their banishment are written in this book. The sisters in the book became inseparable, not unlike the stars, their light and the infinite darkness that engulfs them. The stars communicate to us, and you in turn. The words within this book are but an edifice, a simple surface. Look past the text to the hidden meaning, to the hidden power. The stars above, as they are not mere lights, these are not mere words. If you chance upon the Sisters of the Arch within their prison here, give them our thanks. Seven. 9 triumvirates about the founding principles of the exile groups who shall forever conduct the rites, pertaining to locales, concerning the races. 9 triumvirates, in the words of Hawkzz the Swallow, the Accursed. At first I found it much too difficult to read, much less to write, even to grasp the quill. But the horned one, Myrrh, implored me. He said this is the greatest gift that he could give me in return. In return for what, I asked. In return for his life, he said. But I did not save your life, I said. You did, he said. We fight about this still. Myrrh is stubborn, more than I. Now herein, and by his leave, I chronicle the 9 triumvirates, for I am of this land, unlike the rest who wish to leave. We knew not everyone could leave who wanted. Seldom would the opportunity arise. Thus did we organize those striving for the chance into 9 sets of 3. That guy, his style of writing is so confusing. It's like Yoda. On Commonwealth. In the words of Triesta Tithys, the Blessed Born, we the 8 assembled here together in the downside, and we gave our freedom so that you may yet have yours. It is an exchange we have not lightly made. It is my charge to ensure that you, should you regain your freedom, first off recognize its qualities and also use it wisely. You do not need a pair of wings in order to be free. My own wings, I once thought that they could take me anywhere, and then they took me here, where I am bound. It is your charge to be free and not to make the same mistakes. Spring from here and learn from what we did, and build a new and great society, a free society, with wings spread wide for everyone. Okay, that's all the book. For now. Let's talk to Gilman. Sir Gilman is shivering there after the Black Wagon's maiden voyage through the skies. Master Reader, this knight is very, very slightly out of sorts is all. He merely appears terrified, but he assures you that his seeming cowardice is but an optical illusion in this case. Pomitha overhears and joins you. Flying's not for everyone, Sir Knight. This knight heartily concurs, though how anyone at all can stand it he has yet to understand. Well, let's see. What's it like to swim the waters of the Sea Dominion? Ah, those glorious murky waters. Engulfed in hideous warfare to be sure, but otherwise a joy to cut across, to feel the coolness of the waves beneath one's gill slits and the like. Though this knight is now accustomed to his life above the surface. Flying's just the same, Sir Knight. It resists those of us not born to it. I in turn have wondered what your seas are like, but the thought of swimming fills me with disgust. Though I haven't had to swim, and you now have to fly. That's very brave of you, and you handled it better than some half-fledglings I've met in my day. You'll get used to it. She departs, but you sense Sir Gilman is feeling better after the exchange. Gains one hope for the next right. Wish him well. There for them, what's that? Initiate 20 different conversations. Ah, okay. Rookie. Nothing to ask of her. Search the sea. The sea is peaceful for the most part, save for occasional strange shimmers beneath the surface. You realize the lone minstrel is looking down at them along with you. Those shapes down there. Some must be worms of the Sea Dominion cast into exile. I understand they tirelessly fought the Commonwealth's wars, having grown weary of their own. They must make worthy adversaries. Tizo appears to have spotted something tasty. Tizo dives without warning into the depths below. And there he goes again. That one enjoys being at sea despite its perils. Eventually the little imp resurfaces clutching something in its claws. He caught a lesser shambler. Worth 90, can be sold at the slug market. Nice. Journey onward. Let's mentor somebody. We've got a lot of companions with a lot of inspiration right now. Like Tizo. I want Faye though, she's really good. She'll replace Ruki. I guess Gilman could too. Let's go Gilman. This knight shall be your eager protege. You and Sir Gilman spend some time reviewing some of the specific aspects of the rites, such as the properties of the aura. You sense you gain something from it. Huzzah! Great wisdom clouds over this knight's entire consciousness. Okay. Depths of the Sea Sojourner. Rites mastery is enhancing a worm's carefree and unpredictable nature. The Underking traveled all across the seas and survived many perilous adventures. Tactics of the Underking. Rites mastery is enhancing a worm's maneuvers inspired by their traditional undersea warfare. There is no limbless undersea faring warrior who has surpassed Underking Oris, though his kind keeps trying. After Sir Gilman banishes an adversary, one of his banished allies shall instantly return. That's pretty nice. If Sir Gilman and all his allies are banished, he shall instantly return. I don't get all of my allies banished too much, so I think this is better. Once per round, when saluting his adversary, Sir Gilman freezes all exiles for 3 seconds. What? While Sir Gilman's allies are banished, he moves faster than usual and temporarily has infinite stamina. Ooh. For 10 seconds after banishing an adversary, Sir Gilman deals an additional 10 damage to the adversary's pyre. Wow. After using his slash, Sir Gilman can use it again to instantly return to his previous position. That's also really good. Sir Gilman's slash banishes adversaries in a wider area of effect. That's okay. After using his slash, Sir Gilman instantly recovers all of his stamina. That's also just okay. I like this instantly returning somebody, that's pretty nice. This knight has no idea what the Master Reader said exactly, yet feels smarter nonetheless. Yeah, this game's kinda cool. I can see why it kinda flew under the radar. It's more story driven, and so far the gameplay isn't anything like amazing. It's unique, but so far it's just been okay. It's nothing like crazy yet. We'll see if it gets like really hard or something. It's kind of like a cool world and a cool story so far, though. Book of Oris, one of the downside celestial landmarks. You are to conduct the rites here soon against Udmild and the Withdrawn. So this is going to be round 2 against these guys. Like, as you can see, the artwork is pretty nice and stuff. Oh, we revealed some more pages. Slug Market. Whoa, hey guys, let me tell you something real quick. Now, I happen to have heard that Mr. Greentail, he's moved on or something like that, right? Well, I just want you to know, he was one of my most favorite customers, and because of that, I'm giving you the same great deals, okay? Twilight Shard. When flinging the orb into the adversary's pyre, the barrel deals bonus damage. That's just okay. We'll sell this fish. I don't even know if we need this anymore. Get the Stardust as always. Oops. 1, 2, 3. Once per right, if the bearer's pyre is extinguished, it is instead restored by 5. Straight up +2 presence is nice. +2 hope is nice. We'll get presence. We'll give that to Gilman. I'll have a little bit bigger aura. Let's upgrade Jadariel's a little bit. Edwin's is rank 12, rank 8. Don't want to upgrade this yet because we want to get those guys as legendaries. So we'll just upgrade these legendaries. We'll hang on to the +3 as well. See you guys again sometime soon, maybe, okay? Because I gotta say, you're my favorite customers I had all week. Alright. Got more pages to read. We found each of the others in due time, by fate, not by coincidence. The wise Lusclorian stood among the trees, gazing at the stars, expecting us. The wild witch Malith was so enthralled by my liege's utter transformation, she stayed her sorceries. Blessed-born Triesta swooped down upon us, but to warn of imminent attack. The many-maned Jomur thus intervened and shared with us his humor and his hunt. Even the Underking Ories himself sought out an audience with us. Thus we became the 8 and journeyed on together. Okay, this is new. The Dazraban was first of many river ships to vanish in the downside. Although presumptions of its loss were not inaccurate, the doomed ship and her valiant crew had charted half the Sea of Solace ere the end of their brave voyage. The sea titan unfathomed Plurnes was not fond of vessels sullying her sea and split the doomed ship with a single swipe. The ship's own shattered prow would later end the sea titan's cruel reign, as the boastful Underking loves to recount. The stars themselves must have been moved by this. That point within the sea, now sacred, has the stars dancing in homage every now and again. Okay, Tizo. Yeah, this game's music is really nice. Yeah, they did a good job on the soundtrack so far. You observe Tizo rummaging about the black wagon as though in search of something. He notices you there and rushes up to greet you. Tizo's glad that you're here. He was just reminiscing about old times. But just as quickly he resumes his search. Tizo is looking for something a former exile of the Nightwings once gave him. He's growing frustrated that the object he seeks is nowhere to be found. You almost do not notice the lone minstrel's approach. I'm afraid that it is gone, Tizo. I'm very sorry. Reader, it is nothing that ought to be cause for much concern. Merely that Tizo has misplaced something of sentimental value to him. It was just a spare bandage, he indicates, exactly like the one on his horn. Tizo here has had many adventures with the Nightwings. Is that not so, Tizo? He squawks in approval. Those memories shall always stay with you. Is that not what matters most of all? He confirms this as well. Then please do not worry yourself about it anymore. It is a symbol of a distant past, besides. Tizo skulks away up into the rafters. The lone minstrel watches him go. The object that he seeks does not exist, reader. Tizo searches for it from a fleeting memory of his days with the Nightwings of the past. He performed the regular duties of other drive imps at first, but soon distinguished himself. I was none too surprised. He was clearly special. Ravenous creatures indigenous to the downside, possessing few passions other than a fast meal. Few in the Commonwealth believe these beasts are real, though stories of them are often told in jest. He had grown close with the other members of the Nightwings when misfortune fell and the Triumvirate fell apart. Perhaps Volfred has revealed to you more of the details. As for Tizo, I feel he must make peace with the shadows of his past somehow. Perhaps then he shall cease searching. You need not worry for him, of course. He is resilient, and shall always serve the Nightwings well. You might say that he was born for it. Begging your pardon, reader. The lone minstrel excuses himself in his polite way, leaving you to consider what he said. Roster bio update, Tizo. He was born on the 13th of 5th moon, suggesting he is steady and collected. One's astral sign often foretells blah blah blah. There are a lot of imps in the downside, but few, if any, are like this one. In fact, he seems to be descended from the most famous imp of them all. Tizo is older than he appears, and drove the Black Wagon of the Nightwings for many years, learning much about the rites while traveling with the Triumvirate. But when misfortune fell, he disappeared. He re-emerged years later, having become an integral part of Volfred's plan, and to serve as a liaison between Volfred and a certain band of exiles whom he entrusted. Volfred's ambitious plot to spark a revolution in the Commonwealth as peacefully as possible. We shall stand together shoulder to shoulder as the scribes themselves once stood. Okay. Anything to say? Nope. Commence the rite. Though the now familiar surroundings of the Hulk of Ori's made preparations faster than before, the stars are already aflame by the time you and the others are gathered. At last. Well, Faye, I have every faith in your ability in this. Blessed be the 8 scribes who created this celestial contest, through which exiles such as ourselves may demonstrate our capacity for faithfulness and strength. Yeah, little Tizo. You wish them all good fortune in turn. Little else is said, and together you watch the celestial harmony in calm and silence, and await the withdrawn.
Reader, ever persevering, aren't we? Well then, rejoice, because the cycle of the rites begins anew. Perhaps you'll liberate another soon enough. Your chosen adversaries here shall be the withdrawn. Reduce their flame to ash, just as you did when last you met. Now, who exactly shall oppose them?
Previous time besmirched our flames, you did. A mockery. This time, all for Easelock. No matter the result and no matter the cost. The withdrawn. Let us show them what the Nightwings can do. We have grown strong, and the power of Easelock courses through our veins. You sense Udmild speaks the truth. The withdrawn are more capable than before. Each time you face a Triumvirate, they gain talismans and masteries. Ooh. Special proficiencies in the rites bestowed by the 8 scribes to the enlightened. Each of the 8 scribes develops certain strategies and pass them down to his or her Triumvirate. Do not underestimate them.
Who shall conduct the rite?
Press for more about the withdrawn. Oh, I can see them now. So she can banish people at a wider area. While Udmild's Pyre has less health, then the adversary she deals an additional 5. Rank 20 talisman. At the start of a rite, the adversary's pyre automatically suffers minus 20. Piob, he's like level 1,000,000. After casting her implode ability, Piob returns much faster than usual. While fluttering or zipping, Piob moves much faster than usual. Piob's implode ability can banish adversaries in a wider area. When flinging the orb, she does more damage. And Yaul. Faster than usual while zipping. Yaul's implode ability can banish adversaries in a much wider area. And he flings it again. Okay. I'm gonna go with Headwind as always. Jadariel for muscle. And then Gilman is the new speedy guy.
Sir Gilman, the choice is cast.
For the glory of the Night Wings. Hear us, Seaslock. Bring to us thy terrible power.
Begin. Glorious.
Damn it. Dang it. I forgot how to do my ability on that guy.
Stop.
Got him.
For all. Bask in the purifying flame.
Okay, how do I slash? Right click. Dang it.
Oh, boo.
Oh, I should have dropped the orb. Dang it.
Shameful outcome.
I'm so... What? Oh, they're still gonna score.
The orb sails forth into the flame.
You stand against us once again. Begone, irrelevant to us or to our purpose. This is much harder than before.
The withdrawn, banished to the last. Magnificent.
All right.
Was dangerously close. No. Now.
Dang it, I forgot how to drop the orb.
There goes the witch Udmila. In the name of Solium Myrrh. Best not get overconfident, Night Wings.
Oh crap, I didn't mean to jump over that thing. What?
The orb quenches the flame. Oh. Glorious.
Alright, one more.
Now end the ceremony. The orb taken.
I don't remember how to throw the orb, that's really bad.
And it is done. The Night Wings prevail. They prove superior to their adversaries. The rite is ended.
Easlok savors defeat. Thine. Ours, he cares not. Ye shall see.
Bask now
Later.
in the wisdom of the scribes. Honor is elusive, O Sir Gilman.
So grateful is this knight for such a glorious occasion that he is giving strong consideration to performing, here and now, the forbidden dance of the Sea Dominion. This is nice. Going back to my previous position, I want that.
Until the next round.
You return to the wagon after you and your fellow exiles overcame the Withdrawn and find Wolfred waiting for you there. Well done back there, my boy. You're serving your companions well. Now then, I've something that I wish to share with you if you have a moment. We've discussed the plan, of which we're all a part. I have a means of measuring our progress towards the goal of it. Right now we're at 28% success. I'd like for you to have a look at it. First, let's determine where the rites may take us next. Look forth. I expect you shall again see several shining stars where once you saw but one. You gaze into the darkness of night. The scribe stars beckon. Several shining stars. A trick of the eye, or the will of the scribes. Who can say? I too once gained this newfound vision many years ago, following my first liberation rite, and I believe only we of the Nightwings have this gift. I realize that, in choosing whom the Nightwings confronted in each rite, we in turn influence which triumvirate we face when the time comes for someone to be set free. The object I invite you to use contains further detail. Henceforth you may use Wolfred's planner to see your current progress. An object that shows the relative standings between the 9 triumvirates and the rites. Whichever triumvirate carries the most favor shall confront the Nightwings for a chance of freedom. Look upon it now. Whoa. We're 9-0, baby. Using Wolfred's planner, you may assess your progress towards your ultimate goal, as well as check the current standings of your adversaries. Wolfred shall keep this information up to date for the remainder of your quest. You may look over it now or any time in the Black Wagon or while searching the stars. Okay. Fate 1 and 7. So the essence is rising in favor. Unknown rights till next liberation. Number of additional exiles required to join the Nightwings and fulfill a key aspect of the plan, so we're still missing somebody. Wolfred's current best estimate that the revolution brewing in the Commonwealth shall succeed. Algium, the 6th of 9th moon, 8:37 AS. At long last, the plan is well underway. The cycle of the rites turns quickly for the time. We soon should have another stab upon the fall of Solian. Latest thoughts about the progress of the plan and the current status of your quest. We have infinite favor. The Nightwing shall always be favored in the eyes of the 8 scribes. More favor is gained and lost against the Nightwings than any other triumvirate. So we gotta go knock the essence off their high horse. I don't know which star to go to fight them though. I think it'll say on here. Accusers. I don't think we can fight them. Oh, here they are, the essence. Let's go. So we're here to have another brush with Tamitha. Perhaps she'll spare me yet another moment of her time. She's here because of me and I'm here for her. Tamitha then tells you more of your next adversary, her own blood sister. Tamitha Thane, a harp of the Highwing remnants, raised from birth to excel in outwitting and outmaneuvering her enemies. She seems driven by her hatred for the Commonwealth. After retreating to the mounds centuries ago, the Harps refused to join Commonwealth, and those old tensions boiled over into raids or skirmishes or all-out war. Flight tacticians such as Tamitha gave the High Wing remnants a swift and powerful military presence to this day, despite the Harps' small numbers. She once hatched ambitious plans to overthrow the Commonwealth, breaching its defenses so her sisters could rain down untold destruction. On the darkest night of the year, she led a daring infiltration mission deep into her enemy's lands. It almost worked. However, she was betrayed by someone very close to her, someone branded a Commonwealth sympathizer, Tamitha. Tamitha was caught, clipped, and subsequently exiled as a prisoner of war, but being trapped within the downside only stoked her fury. Okay, Novni, have a good night. Thanks for stopping by for a little bit. I'll see you next time, man. I wound up in here not too long afterwards. Anyway, it's complicated what happened between us. What I did for her own good, and that of all of our sisters. Though I'm beginning to doubt that Tamitha will ever see it that way. We'll see, I suppose, but for now I'd best try and catch what sleep I'm able. Pleasant dreams then, darling. You bid a good night to Tamitha in turn. No time now to make flight preparations, though. Come morning, the black wagon will press onward. Page revealed, the withdrawn. The withdrawn did spawn forth from the wild witch Melith, in whose vigilant pursuit of the unknown and the unknowable I always felt a certain kinship. Whether the withdrawn were Melith's kin by blood or merely worshippers, we trusted one another not to ask or care. Whether the withdrawn... Oh wait, what mattered was that Melith chose the most audacious minds who stopped at nothing short of the impossible. Though ever distant, the withdrawn revealed to us such truths about the land which long lay hidden even to one such as I. Their knowledge was ever waking into newfound depths of consciousness. They led us all to better know ourselves. Wolfred's planner. Edwin. Hey, my friend. Come join Jodarli and me. We were just doing nothing. Not exactly accurate, Hedwin. She produces a bottle of some sort from her cloak. Still can't believe you got a hold of that, Jody. I have my ways. Oh, I know, but still. Jodariel opens the bottle and pours several glasses. Well then, what shall we toast to? Right now, I got no idea. To friendship. You raise a toast of friendship, giving thanks to Hedwin and Jodariel for putting their faith in you. You know all too well where you would be if not for them. Would that you knew such company as this back when you had your so-called freedom in the Commonwealth. Life takes strange turns, and for some of them, you're grateful. Damn right, my friend, I'll drink to that. And so, they do. The bit of revelry is all too brief, but afterward you feel as though a burden has been lifted from your shoulders for the time. Let us save the rest for later then. Good evening to you both. You go your separate ways for now. As you soar above the waters of Worm Gulf, you notice Sir Gilman sidle up to you very slowly. We are very, 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 very high above the waters, if this knight is not mistaken. This knight's brethren lurk beneath the surface there, in numbers untold. Fortunately, if we were to come crashing to the surface now, then, this knight, why, he would receive a watery burial in the custom of his kind. Below, amid the desolation of flagging hands, you see Big Bertrude's, from which you first embarked by sea. You wonder how its venerable proprietor is faring. I'm certain that Big Bertrude must have left a strong impression on you all. She's not easy to forget. I've known her since before my exile or hers. She's been here a long time. I've sent my agents to repay her for assisting you and to send her our regards. The old wagon must have been in need of some repairs. The spring of Jomur has always flown forth from the crushed carapace of Blantheus, the legend of whose demise is a rather sordid tale. Perhaps you have already read it in the book. The Hive Titan vanquished by the scribe Jomur Menimane. From its remains flows a rejuvenating spring which gladdens up that valley's desolation. Not all believe the book exists, of course, nor the greater titans nor the rites. I've encountered exiles believing that this titan perished quite by accident, rather than by a cunning trap laid for it by Jomur Menimane. They took the titan for a common beast. Perhaps the stars shine upon out-of-the-way locales such as this one to ensure that they alone shall witness the proceedings. Hedwyn has a hunch that you may find something of value. Jadariel expresses an interest in exploring the pools. I haven't done anything Jadariel wanted in a long time, so... Jomur Valley. You touch down in the heart of Jomur Valley, where first you face the Fate and the Dissidents. You briefly wonder where they might be now and how they fare. You now have a little time before having to set forth by land. The Beyonder Crystal seeks Sir Gilman. Nice. And we got a page. The downside prairie first appears serene. It is not. The soil there accommodates only the regions of brutish native vines and overbrush. The most likely food sources prove poisonous. Thus we journeyed further north. The climate there grew fouler to my senses, though the cur Jomur found it amenable. The sprawling valley, pocked with long evaporated lakes, gives evidence to the monstrosities which roamed this land. We found the region's western edge to be more pleasant on the whole. Therein we found sources of fresh water, whereas over the east we found the edge of the land's most hideous decay. Let's do Gilman's challenge. I'm always prepared to cut your idiots and their egos down to size. Who shall it be? Gilman! You asked Sandra to administer one of her special trials for Gilman. She's an apparition from the age of Emperor Solium Mur, who pursued him in his exile. You think that dimwit of a worm has any chance? Perhaps you're correct, though I put little stock in him myself. Though, let us bring him forth. Soon Sir Gilman appears and heeded the summons. Master Reader, is this knight perchance in trouble for something? The apparition Sandra appears and unfastens her mask. Listen well, worm. You answer to me here. As you will, your highness. Your highness, I like the sound of that. Though flattery shall get you nowhere here. Demonstrate your competence to me then, worm. You shall have to do it mostly on your own, though under the guidance of your lovely reader, I trust you are prepared. Of course, your highness, this knight accepts this challenge. Okay, I'm gonna have to go for kills first before I do anything. Crap. Snuck in. Crap. Came out of nowhere. God, all these things' auras are so huge. Oh my god. I missed. Oh my. Curses. Laughable. The worm lacks any concept of his foolishness. I would tell you not to waste my time, worm, but the truth is that my time is there for you to waste. Do you think you'd do better than that? Yeah. I suck with this guy. So hard to use. Crap. Oh my gosh, the jumps. Crap. Huzzah! This knight prevails. I have no choice but to concur with that assessment, Worm. Your performance was sufficient and you passed my test. Thus, congratulations are in order to you and your lovely reader. Now farewell. Master Reader, this knight is humbled after having passed that sorceress test. What? By the scales of the Under King Ories. What is it that you have? Ories of scales. Sir Gilman jumps farther than usual, plus 30%. That'll be nice for jumping over huge auras. Solar shell. The sparkly thing in its center is in fact its heart, which it airs out from time to time. Keepsake from the Sea of Solace, only a monster would attempt to remove the heart, or would have the strength. Singing sands. The so-called singing is the sound of countless screeching wheel mites, a keepsake from Jomer Valley. Explore Glue Hive. You end up spending part of the day with Jadariel exploring the area surrounding your wagon. You learn this area used to be a swimming hole many years ago. These waters are poisonous, but the curs who gathered there, they swam regardless. Your lasting memory of the place is standing by the shore, imagining the feel of the water. As you head back in silence, you consider which of your vocations to pursue. Find Jadariel seemingly deep in thought, you consider whether even to bother her. Your presence is not unwelcome, reader. Remain a moment, please. She stares at you for some time. Today marks the beginning of my 16th year in exile. You look back at her and remain silent. You sense that all she wants from you right now is for you to listen. I've kept count. Put notches in this breastplate of mine for each passing day. Notice how much it has frayed. 16 years, reader. The orphans whom I fostered would be long since fully grown. Some of them are likely gone. Many of them spoke of how they longed to one day serve with me on the blood border. Sometimes I cannot help but wonder. If I were still captain, could I have protected them? Could I have made a difference? I think not. The Commonwealth and the Highwing remnants, they've fought eternally. Those such as I have come and gone throughout the age. I catch myself feeling pity for my years, but then, had I remained there on the blood border, it's unlikely I would have lived to see this day. She looks at you again. Do you know why they cast me down? I was a decorated captain. They said I was the best. She closes her eyes a moment before she continues. One day, it was a standard patrol. One sec, I'm gonna test something that I just thought of. Okay, that's still working. Just noticed I got a random follow like an hour ago, and I wasn't sure if it triggered or not. But my alerts are still working. I guess the guy just followed while I was offline. One day, it was a standard patrol, but I ran across a pack of harp fledglings fully armed and preparing for a strike, but all on their own. They were nothing for my regiment. We ensnared them all and took them in. A considerable prize. They were not yet conditioned and could be made to talk. When the order came down that they were to be executed, I could not bring myself. The Commonwealth, priding itself on mercy, committing such acts, through one such as me, it was unconscionable. So I thought then, at least in my younger years, I let the damned birds go, made no claims as to the contrary, and turned myself in. I was cast down the following week, 16 years ago. Thus my enemies had the last laugh in that exchange. If I were faced with the same choice again today, I do not know for certain that I would have chosen just the same. Now then, I shall go and mark this occasion as I have always done. Be well, reader. She heads out of the wagon, alone. Poor Jadariel. Punished for being a good guy. Roster bio updated, Jadariel. She was a seasoned captain serving on the blood border, and she fostered the orphans of her fallen brothers and sisters. One day she captured a flock of harp fledglings who had flown too close to the Commonwealth. When she was given the order to put them down, she refused, and thus was sentenced to exile. There she survived on her own and gained her horns. Many years later she encountered Hedwyn, whom she last remembered as one of the children she had in her care. Astral sign Capriest. She was born on the 23rd of 12th moon, suggesting she is ambitious but also discontented. Jadariel has survived for 16 years in the downside thus far. Crime insubordination. She disobeyed a direct order to execute enemy combatants of the High Wing remnants. Insurrection. The record states she showed flagrant disrespect for the proper chain of command. Hey Jack Plays, welcome. Ah, my best friend in all the world, come to visit me again. Does it make you uncomfortable, perhaps, that I should call you thus? Perhaps you think that you do not yet know me very well, but I know you just fine. You reveal a great deal to me when you come visit me like this. You're not the only one who can sense things in others, you know. One learns to read a bit when forced to suddenly appear within a book for 837 years or so. Especially if one is wont to pray a little, you understand, for it gets rather boring here. I know all about you. A common wanderer who seeks revenge against the Commonwealth, which wronged you, only to end up spending all his time talking to an apparition stuck in a stone. Oh, I know about your loves, or lack thereof, about your favorite pastimes, certain habits you may be somewhat loath to admit. You're not, of course. I use this special knowledge only as a means to entertain myself, I think. And if you don't like it, why, just keep your distance, like so many of your predecessors. As for the other Beyonders, they are as wraiths to me, as it must seem to all those idiots with whom you consort. I cannot confide as easily in my own kind as I am able to confide in you. But I suppose that I have said too much. Thank you as ever for the visit. You've given me a lot, to think about. Drop my phone, sorry about that. Take care of yourself then. We'll go study in private. You locate a secluded area nearby where you should be able to study the Book of Rites. Let's go for presents next. You attune yourself to the strange and mystic properties of the Book of Rites, embracing such as possible that which cannot be explained or truly known. Inspiration comes to you in a flash, whether from the book or from within, you cannot tell. Gain the reader's influence tenacity. All night wings gain +1 presence. Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna get some water. My throat's getting dry. Continued. Spring of Jomer. You're to conduct the rites here soon against Tamitha and the Essence. A messenger imp with news and rumors from the other side comes huffing towards your wagon, here in the dry flats of Jomer Valley. This guy looks funny. You let it in and offer it some light refreshment as Ruki would have done. The imp's message turns out to be about him. Ooh. You learn Ruki's past transgressions have all been forgiven since his return to the Commonwealth. He was even offered a well-appointed home and place of business. Nice. It must have represented just the kind of lavish lifestyle that Ruki always claimed to have had for himself and his extended family. Eventually and somewhat reluctantly, however, he refused the gifts. Instead, he tracked down Volfred's agents and gave them ample information, thus emboldening their ranks. Nice. The last bit of the message sounds as though it was transcribed word for word from something Ruki said. It simply reads, "The rest of you better get back here soon or else." You thank the messenger imp for the report. Soon, it has all your companions talking. Ah, the noble Ruki, such a shining example unto us all. The days aren't quite so bright without him. Though sounds like he's doing well out there. It seems that Greentail had himself a conscience after all. Hard to believe he would have turned down living in that kind of luxury, though maybe he got used to it out here. Don't you think he must be sad to have turned down a house? I hope he isn't sad. Tizo was happy to learn that Ruki joined the revolution in the Commonwealth. The news of Ruki's liberation fills you and your fellow exiles with newfound resolve. The messenger imp accepts some scraps to eat from you and rushes off. Your companions gained a +1 hope for the next rite. Wish Ruki luck. New pages, slug market. Oh hey, it's you guys, and just as I was thinking, hey, I haven't seen those guys in a little while, and I wonder how they're doing and if they need maybe to purchase anything. After dousing the adversary's pyre, the bearer earns a reward up to 3 times, +5 money. Scoop of Stardust. Raises the rank of certain talismans +4. Can't really afford anything right now. Well, I guess maybe I should pack it up for the day. Alright, book pages. Scribe's deeds. I wish to be remembered not for boastfulness, thus I refrain from detailing our exploits across the land, save to say that they were numerous. Know that only through our combined strength of arms and wit did we withstand this savage land, such were the monstrous dangers that it posed. I came to see that all the terrors which I had heard at bedside in my youth were based entirely in fact. So great they were, they blotted out the sky. Such was the evil that we vanquished, that the remains of it yet shine under the stars, and in the end it was the stars which guided us towards our truest calling. The Sprints of Jomer, or the Spring. I oftentimes think the carapace of the Hive Titan Biolanthius shall be an everlasting blemish on an almost splendid bit of land. But Jomer in his brashness felled the monster with a certain flair. Then the moon shone through the ridges of the massive carapace and shined upon the pooling ichor, turning it into the freshest nectar ever to be tasted. The spring shall flow eternally, and those who walk within it shall experience the resplendent glory of the land. The stars began to fall there in the spring with regularity, and we now know how soon again that they shall do so, and we wish for you to see it for yourself. And that's the rite. Afternoon is just beginning to give way to nightfall as you and your companions finish making preparations for the coming rite. Through all the ceremony, you realize Pamitha is nowhere to be found. The last anybody saw of her was shortly after the Black Wagon came to rest here at the Spring of Jomer. She returns just as you are beginning to plan a search for her. Sorry to have worried you there, reader darling. Just getting a little antsy is all. Had to go and spread my wings a bit and shake away the nerves. She's holding something back. Don't you get in my head, I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth, damn it. Damn you, reader. Get out! Get out! Get out! Anyhow, it looks as if the show's about to start. I shall be in the field with the others. As Pamitha departs, you see she is right as the stars above begin to shine. You know she's about to face her sister, Tamitha, once again. You accept that it is a very private matter between them.
Hark now, you exiles of the Night Wings. You are returned once more unto the Spring of Jomer. The adversaries you are to confront shall be the Essence. Snuff out their Pyre's flame and show your worth. Now prepare yourselves.
We're against the Harpies. The winged exiles of the Essence take position opposite your own companions, and their leader soon asserts herself. Pamitha, come forth, no trickery this time. She appears as asked, though remains silent as her blood sister studies her for a time. Tamitha then reaches for her mask. You look weary to me, sister. Oh? Too little sleep, I guess. I do get rather anxious sometimes. On the night before one of these things, it can be a lot of pressure. Understandable. The two of them say nothing for a time. You cannot discern what they are thinking. The Highwing remnants all seem to be very mentally acute, trained as they are from birth. Soon enough, Pamitha cuts through the tension, her tone light as ever. So, given further thought to my proposal then? I have. And I think that now is not the time for talk. Besides, your comrades there, surely you give them pause. Even now they must be questioning your loyalty. What? But Oh, cut it with the stammering, Pamitha. It's very unbecoming, you know that. And you be sure to tell those comrades of yours what you proposed to me. She dons her mask once more. As she rejoins the other exiles of the Essence, Pamitha hesitates before returning to your group. I told her she could take my place. That I would keep her up to date about our progress, and that she could take my place if ever it was time for me to go. But you don't have to worry. For one thing, she refused, and for another, well, I'd better tell you later. Now remember you can count on me. Okay, their Pyre has more health.
Conduct this rite.
Roster bio updated. If the Commonwealth fears anything at all, it is the harps of the Highwing remnants. She's clearly one of them, many of whom have been exiled as prisoners of war. She seems to have an unusually easygoing attitude towards things, though you sense she is in pain or in a state of turmoil over something. Start of a rite, the pair's buyer automatically gains 25. Oh, Tamitha's. She's a vengeful tactician of the Highwing remnants who plot the Commonwealth's ruin. Believed to be the masterminds of the Highwing remnants' unpredictable assaults. A flight tactician. Astral sign of Queth. She was born on the first of second moon, suggesting she is a trendsetter for the future. Terrorism. She orchestrated numerous deadly attacks against the Commonwealth and its borders. Motive is hatred. The record shows she was remorseless and determined to see the Commonwealth in ruin. Exiled for 7 years. After the fall of the Empire, all the tribes and nations it subsumed began to work together to rebuild, all but one. Some harps retreated to their ancestral mountain homes. Tensions grew and a war erupted many times since then. She vowed to put an end to it. She orchestrated an ambitious plot to overthrow the Commonwealth from within. But at a key point in the mission, she was betrayed by a Commonwealth sympathizer, her own sister. She was caught, clipped, and exiled as a prisoner of war, but remained steadfast in her ultimate goal. All you know for certain is that she serves the essence. While carrying the orb, the bearer moves faster than usual. Faster than usual.
Edwin. Jodariel.
Unwilling. Oh, really? A bug got in my room? Sir Gilman's got the jumps. Fair Pamitha Thane, by this night's limited honor he shall stand heir by your side. Provided, of course, your side remains that of the Nightwings. Face us, wastrels of the Commonwealth. The pain and loss of your defeat this night shall reverberate not only in your hollow hearts, but in the homeland that abandoned you. Are you quite sure it has to be this way then, sister? There's no compromise here, Pamitha. Not for traitors to my country or my blood. I understand. Then, so be it.
Commence. The Nightwings assert themselves thusly.
You can jump so far now. Damn bug.
Perhaps you are worthy. That's it.
Crap.
There. Deliverance.
Dang it. Oh, she like pushed me. Dang it. That worm guy's so fast I can't control him. Nice. Big hit. Dang.
Well cast. Righteous fire.
You blasted Nightwings. So desperate to protect the people who discarded you like the trash that you are. Come then, let us show you.
Didn't see it coming.
Crap.
Ouch.
Oh, she spawned on me. Nice.
The Nightwings prevail again. 'Twas as though the
11-0
themselves stood by their side. Thus end this night's proceedings.
You win, blood sister. You win. I don't suppose that means you'll reconsider. You know that I cannot. You were always obstinate. But in that regard and all others which count for anything, you're inferior to me. Inferior to me, remember that. What you offered is meaningless to me. I shall free myself without your help or that of anyone. Now then, farewell. Wait, what of your comrades, the Essence? You must need them at least. Mincing my words as ever, Pamitha. Know that I do love you in a way. Is that what you wish to hear? But my purpose is plain, and you stand in its way. You are a fool to think my freedom is my goal. My freedom is a means towards an end, the likes of which you would never abide. Do you think that you could sway me from my purpose, Pamitha? Pamitha remained silent for a time. No. I think that you will struggle to destroy the Commonwealth, no matter what it takes. No matter if, in doing so, you were destroyed instead. Just so. So then you understand me after all. Pamitha does not turn to watch her blood sister depart.
There is much to learn from this experience. Jodariel walks further down the path, but to what end?
Utter nonsense, all of this. That we have come this far. Fortune alone cannot be the cause. Nice. +4 presence, which makes her aura even bigger. Ooh. At the start of her right, Jodariel's Pyre automatically gains 35 health. Yeah, we want that.
Until the stars align.
Back at the Black Wagon, the Nightwings are unwinding after they vanquished the Essence in a decisive victory. The deadest hour of the night is approaching, so you excuse yourself to read the stars outside and plot a course for your next confrontation. The stars yet shine for you, revealing various paths forward. Who's next? We'll knock down Chastity or Fate. Fate's 1 in 8. Tempers is 1? Why do they only have 1? Oh, I think those are the guys I beat originally. Okay. Yeah, let's go hit Chastity. If it'll let us. Millith, Gaul. Oh, we can't. Okay, we'll do Fate then. Your next adversaries are to be the Fate, headed by Dalbert Oldheart and his son. They show unyielding respect to a tradition which shows them no such love. He then shares with you what details he attained of your next adversaries. Dalbert Oldheart, an adversary who showed you respect and even generosity, despite his advanced age. He also made for a formidable opponent, he and his son. The so-called Almer the Helpless, ever present at his father's side. He was abandoned as an infant before Dalbert found him and raised him as his own. Dalbert taught his son everything he knew of his cultural heritage, as a descendant of one of the Alpha Chiefs thought to be descended from Jurmur Many-Many himself. However, his more vocal attempts to preserve old Kurd traditions in the Commonwealth often fell on deaf ears, or even roused the anger of officials. One day he insisted on celebrating Fang Song against the wishes of his family. His family's caution was well-founded in this case, and he was taken into custody. An old Kur holiday in which a single pack of Kurs vanquished an entire Imperial brigade. And Jomur's jaws and Jomur's many manes ran red that day. As for Almer, as his father was led away, he put up enough of a fight to where he wound up sharing his father's cell and soon enough his sentence. In the downside, their faith brought them in contact with a pack of spiritual curs residing in Jomer Valley. In time, they became acquainted with the rites and helped to revitalize the long-struggling triumvirate known as the Fate. They have since struggled on, at times flirting with freedom, though seldom getting within striking distance. Yet still, they long to find a way to return to their ancestral home and family. Should they succeed in all this, only one of them would be returned. They must know that by now. Either way, you shall see them again soon. Please rest yourself for now while dark of night remains. You bid the lone minstrel a good evening. It is too late to take flight, so you make plans to rise at dawn to continue your travels. Page revealed the essence. The winged members of the Essence, each chosen by the matriarch, Triesta Tithys, are living exemplars of liberty and piety. Would that my wings could be thus. Once, you of course must know we all had wings. It is said the people of the Empire relinquished theirs, drawn in by earthly matters as they were. But the harps such as Triesta held tight the liberty their plumage could afford. These divergent paths did cause a share of differences between the winged and the wingless over time, but here in this land our purposes are shared, our goals united. That then is the essence. That is who they are and what and why. Despite Pamitha's mental conditioning, you can tell something is troubling her. She won't listen to a word I say, not one damn word. If she weren't my blood sister, I should think I'd hate her guts as much as she hates mine. She shakes her head. I should apologize. To you and everyone. I sought out Tamitha without asking your leave. Figured I would rather seek forgiveness than permission, you understand. My attempts with Tamitha didn't amount to much, as you well saw. So at this point, I'm hopeful you'll be more accepting of apologies than she. Though tell me something, reader darling. Do you suppose I'm going to betray you? You may know better than I do at this point. I don't think so. I trust her. You expressed to Pamitha that you do not view her efforts to make peace with Tamitha as being contradictory to the group's larger goals. You understand why she did what she did. Says nothing for a while. That's kind of you to say, darling. May the others see it with such generosity. But if they don't, you need but tell me to depart and I'll be on my way. However, I've a promise that I wish to make to you. You let me stay and I'll see this through with all of you, no matter where we all end up. I'll be on the roof for a bit, I think. You take care too, darling. Despite Pamitha's disappointment with the outcome of her confrontation with her blood sister, you sense she is less troubled now, after your brief conversation. Continue. A gloom hangs thick above the pit of Malif and all around it. You're brave to seek your adversaries here again, reader. Many in the downside believe it to be nothing other than a foul den. They take the tales of Islak Astralborn to be mythology, embellished the retelling over time. You have met others such as Witch Udmild who believe otherwise. Although whichever their beliefs, I know of none who would go near the place unless the stars demanded it. Thus shall your coming right against the fate take place in complete secrecy as always the rites have. Cold Moat, Lone Minstrel knows of a morbid yet potentially lucrative task along this route. Falconron may be passing through here with a special offer. The Lone Minstrel knows of a task along his route through which you may earn Stardust. I don't have like any money, so we're gonna do Cold Moat. You return to the dismal region known as Flagging Hands. Straight away you sense an air of dread, yet cling to hope that you can make your stay as brief as possible. You and your fellow exiles have time to yourselves before the day is done. Nonetheless, the dismal environs soon take their toll on everyone. Most of your fellow exiles lost -1 hope. Most? Flagging Hands. Beyond the valley lies the Flagging Hands, which could be called a swamp, if an entire sea could merely be a lake. Soon after our arrival, several of us fell into a dark despair, such were the environs. I found it rather fascinating, though. It held aspects reminiscent of the southern bogs we dwelt in as a tad. We grew accustomed to the dampness of the air and grew to savor certain twigs and beetles. It can be said the Flagging Hands are an acquired taste, recommendable only for those of our same bent or perhaps the downside's native imps. The sea surrounded the environs on 3 sides, appearing insurmountable at first. Bury the dead. You accompany the lone minstrel in pursuit of his task here. Speak not directly to the living shade, and be true to your heart when responding to its inquiries. And make no attempt to look it in the eye. The lone minstrel offers these and other words of advice as you approach the burial mounds of Coldmoat. The north route through Flagging Hands crosses a mass grave. Even a thorough burning failed to cleanse a certain haunted air here, where many exiles of the downside see their final days. A glimmer of a shade appears before you as you stand surrounded by the dead. You barely see it, and it does not speak, but you feel its thoughts piercing your heart and mind. According to the shade, the book that you possess may lay some of the fallen here to rest. The shade leaves you to your work. You turn through the book, locating passages concerning freedom and the spirit. You recite such words as seem best fit to each of the fallen you see. It is draining work. The shade resurfaces after a while. It leads you to a hollowed stump, then fades away. Found a Noxshroom. 50 value. Being here in Flagging Hands continues to sap most everyone's spirits. Companions lost -1 hope. Pit of Malith. En route to the Pit of Malith, the wagon comes to a sudden halt. That does it. I'm leaving. The cause of Jadariel's outburst soon becomes apparent. Well, reader darling, at least some of us know how to take a joke, wouldn't you say? Look, she was reminiscing once again about her soldier days, and I just happened to point out, I may have suggested the fiery destruction of the Spiral Sanctum happened on her former unit's watch. I mean, didn't it? Not that she would have made much of a difference had she been there herself. She ought to thank the saint that she was spared by her exile here. I thought she held no love for your commonwealth. I shall never understand what it is your people ever saw in that dreadful place, but I guess I hit a sore spot. I should probably apologize. She swoops off. There's no sign of either one of them. You organize a small search. It proves fruitless, but then Jadariel returns alone as if nothing happened. She is back to her calm self. Let us continue. I regret the interruption. Pamitha soon comes back as well. Oh, don't you worry, darling. I've definitely patched things up between us, honest. At least, I think perhaps I didn't make things worse. She returns to her business in the wagon. You make ready to resume your travels, but make a note to follow up with them. Pit of Malith, the Freedom Pact, Slug Market. Oh, hey guys, look, I got something here I think which maybe you would like. Shows you several bottles of multicolored liquids of some sort. Sun Serum. To the next right grants +4 hope. To the next right grants +4 quickness. Grants +4 presence. Yeah, they taste pretty good, I guess. And besides, they can give you just a little lift you need, know what I mean? You get thirsty for them, don't even worry, I can get more soon. A seething bit of fungus which holds value to certain denizens. Sell that. Get this scoop of stardust. The Freedom Pact. We rid the land of an impending doom, but faced another of its kind, for we knew that we were trapped. Yet for each danger which we faced, for every failed ambush by Arch, we met with gentle souls and kindred spirits in the downside, who deserved more than to fade from memory within this land. It was then the stars themselves showed us the way, delineating a great voyage across the sea. Near broken we became, but then, at last, a moonlit vision, that of the rights, the rights. Thus shall they say of us, the 8 scribes gave their freedom so that we may yet have ours. Pit of Malith. If there is one celestial landmark in which I would never again wish to tread, unless of course the stars beseeched me to it, it has to be the pit. 'Twas dark in there beyond all reckoning. If not for Malith's sorceress lantern, all of us, we all would have been lost. What lies within the pit is not to be invoked, although I have no doubt our goodly Underking shall be unable to prevent himself from boasting of how Malith sealed it there for an entire age. The thing yet lies there on the edge of death. Through its connection to the stars, it gives the pit significance. Walk there with courage and a steady mind. Flagging fungus. Occasionally produces foul-tasting mushrooms that are strangely satisfying to pluck from it. Hey Jay, it's going well. Just doing some pyre work. It's getting harder, which is nice. This game started off really easy. It's a lot of reading though, it's killing my throat. This game's like 80% reading, 20% gameplay, so... It's hard to play for long stretches when I'm streaming. You find Pamitha in the midst of a heated conversation. All I'm saying is, we're limiting not only our own chances individually, but all your friends' chances as well. Jadariel seems to be considering whatever it is that Pamitha proposed. Reader. Jay, I'm gonna take a break here in like, hour-ish. Maybe a little bit quicker than that to eat. And then I'll probably play some stuff after that if you want to play. So. We're at 45 followers now. 5 more followers and I have enough for a Twitch affiliate. But, I still don't have the average viewership. I need like 3 average viewers for like 30 days straight. And I haven't gotten that yet, so. Okay, yeah, I'll message you when I play later, if you're not asleep. Reader, the harp here is suggesting that perhaps it would be best if I were to form an alliance with the ones whom I fought for the better part of my life. Yeah, it would help. I need to average 3 viewers in 30 days. I need to meet that requirement, and then I need to meet the 50 followers, which we're getting there. I have a feeling we'll get the remaining followers on my Mario playthroughs. This game doesn't bring anybody in, apparently. But it's still fun to play, so I'm going to play it. The harp here is suggesting that perhaps it would be best if I were to form an alliance with the ones whom I fought for the better part of my life. Just with me, Jadariel. I cannot vouch for anybody else. How utterly absurd. If we were in the Commonwealth, I would not have stayed my hand against her, that I can say for certain. However, as Hedwyn would say, what happened back there? Perhaps none of that matters anymore. And what matters more is what we do from here. That is to say, I'm willing to give it a shot. Oh, hold on. Getting a call from Dad. You mean you would be willing to conduct the rites with me? Yes. Excellent. I knew that you would come around. Thought she'd never come around, but I ought to give her the benefit of the doubt here. I'm grateful for your open-mindedness. No need to let old enmities between our ancestors ruin things between us, or the others in our little party for that matter, after all. You know what's weird is I just recently got this weird mind reading ability. It just kicks in randomly and I don't even know how I can do that. That's strange. Do not push it with me, Harp. We shall see if the reader here is thus inclined to pair us in the coming rites. I'm willing to defer to him. Oh nice, so they'll pair together now. Anyway, you see? I think I managed to make amends there. Doubtless we'll get on swimmingly in no time. Pamitha and Jodariel are now willing to conduct the rites together. Hope for the best. Alright, commence the rite. You and the others are busying yourself for the commencement of the rite this evening when you notice Faye behaving strangely. More than usual. Maybe he is here. I mean, I think he has to be somewhere nearby? She notices you then. Oh, I'm sorry, mister. I was just... Oh, it's just, I think maybe my friend is here? And I was hoping to say hi to him, before we have to do the ceremony with the star ball. Wait, is that? That's him, my friend is here, he's here! Just then your adversaries, the Fate, arrive on the other side of the Pit of Malith. Oh, it's the guy. They begin making necessary preparations. Faye rushes over to them before anyone can stop her, even as the stars above start shining through the darkness. Whoa, that's new. Something else catches your notice in the sky. This time, strange new stars shimmering about the ones you recognize. The greater titans have returned. What? Some of them, and merely in spirit, not in form, but those dark stars are a portentous sign. Portentous. Though they may light your way, beware the path which they illuminate, reader. Henceforth you may invite the influence of the Titan stars? Omens in the night sky, each representing one of the downside's mythical monstrosities. Use the Titan stars for a greater challenge. Oh. Look upon them without fear.
Behold, the Titan stars.
Oh, this helps you rank up faster. Okay. Your adversaries each shall have +8 hope, making them return sooner after banishment. Limbless Arazek. Endriga the Widow. At the start of this rite, your Pyre shall automatically suffer -30 damage. Your adversaries shall be more cunning and much quicker to react. Oh, I don't want that. I want the hope one. I don't mind them coming back quicker. Or do I? Do I think I can win with -30 health? Yeah, I can with Jodariel.
Endriga the Widow.
Oh, it's only +3%? Oh, that's pathetic.
Limbless Arazek. Islak Astralborn.
3%, really? Whatever, we'll just stick with one of them. I'm not gonna be a sissy.
The Titan stars. Burning remnants of monstrosities felled by the scribes themselves. Dare you to stand against them in their fury? Dark is the knowledge that you seek there, reader. Best focus on your adversaries, keen as they are to confront you.
Now, if I get like additional lore for doing these, I'll do them.
First, and show them the glory of the Night Wings. Now then, make ready for the rite.
Oh, hello again. Hello. Why, hello indeed, young one. We are the Fate, and once again we hail you and all the Nightwings. Thanks. I was wondering, may I speak to your son? Why, I do not see why not, but let me see here. Almer, where are you? Begging your pardon, young one, but my son, he's not always punctual, you see. Hold, I shall go and fetch him. Oh. Okay, I mean, my friend, I hope that he remembers me. You? Wait, where's father? Father! Oh, hello again. Your father, he went looking for you. Did you not see him? No, I did not see him. This had best not be some Nightwing's trick, or else I'll... There you are, Almer. Our cordial adversary wishes to salute you, I believe. Oh, that's right. I mean, here, this is my salute. I'm saluting you. It's nice to see you, and may the scribes watch over you, okay? I want them to watch over us as well, but maybe just this time, or not just this time, but this and other times, maybe. They can watch over all of us, okay? The two of them stand and watch as Faye skips over to rejoin your group. An unusual sort, that one. She is. She's about your age? Father! Yeah. I'm back. Sorry, I'm late. Sorry, I'm late. I'm ready now to do my part however I can.
Who shall stand together here this night?
Albert and Almer. While the bearer's pyre has less health than the adversary's bearers deal bonus damage. Yikes. He took pride in his heritage as a descendant of the Alpha Chiefs thought to be descended from Jermer Many himself, but his more vocal attempts to preserve old traditions in the Commonwealth often fell on deaf ears or even roused anger. One day he dared to publicly celebrate Fang's song even against the wishes of his family. His family's caution was well founded in this case, and he and Almer both were taken and exiled in the downside. Tales of their deeds preceded them, and the fate soon approached them and took them in. Past chieftain, the curse still recognizes their Alpha Chiefs in a solemn nod to bygone traditions. Astral sign Librecht. He was born on the 1st of 10th moon, suggesting he is tactful and empathetic. Crime, blasphemy. He publicly celebrated a holiday whose traditions were deemed unacceptable. Insurrection. The record states he attempted to undermine Commonwealth traditions and common decency. It's such a dumb reason to throw someone down here. The Fanged Firebrand. The dutiful foster son of Dalbert Oldheart, very protective of him above all else. So he's a savage, aide to Dalbert. In the old traditions of the Curs, the young were duty-bound to learn from and serve the elderly. Astral sign Cassius. He was born on the 30th of 6th moon, suggesting he is contemplative and passionate. Crime resisting arrest. He rebelled against the detainment of a suspected blasphemer who wantonly ignored tradition. Motive filial piety. Records state he stood with his blasphemous father purely out of obligation. 5 years of exile. Exile of the Fate. Okay, so these guys all deal more damage while I'm ahead, which will be like the whole game, so that's tough. So we're gonna go Hedwyn like always. Jadariel for my extra health. Bam. And then we'll go Faye. I'm gonna pee before we get this started. 1 second.
Well?
by Faye. She gets quickness. She is pretty quick.
Shiru-sama? Very well.
The scribes, I hope they're watching all of us. Steel yourself, armor. Are you prepared to face our adversaries once again? Always, father. Let us prevail here and now. Let us do so indeed, my son. Nope.
The flame is stricken. The orb is up.
Damn it.
A second wind.
I can just stomp on these guys with Jadariel. Her aura is so massive. What are you doing, you? Put your mask back on. We're in the middle of a rite. Oh, I know. It's just, I wanted to say, I think you're very brave is all, I think. Because we've encountered many triumvirates. By now, I mean. We have the dissidents and the tempers and... What are you talking about? Get to the point. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean, I just... My name is Faye. I wanted you to know. My name, it's Faye, since I know yours. I see. Then ready yourself, Faye. We shall not hold back.
Such a struggle it must be for poor old Dalbert and his witless son.
Crap.
Edwin plunged into their fire. You'll have to do better than that.
Ah, got me good there.
The orb's engulfed. The flame has died a little. Now go on, just once more.
Crap. No, her delayed jump always gets me. Dang it.
Yes.
Sprint, dang it. Wow.
Unacceptable. Well cast.
There we go.
And it is done. The Nightwings prevail. And such a well-conducted victory it was. The rite is done.
Wait, I'm sorry, I just wanted to apologize, I think. Why, young one, you must not say such things. You are one of the Nightwings, the most envied of all triumvirates. We aspire to your greatness and your legacy. Father, please, no more of this. They have prevailed. We need not grovel at their feet. Almer. Is it Almer? I just had a question. Ask quickly and then go about your business. Oh, I just... Would you be my friend?
Huh?
What? I was wondering if you'd be my friend. Because I don't have a lot of friends, and you're brave and gentle with your father, so... Oh, ho, ho, ho. I shall see you in a little while, my son. What? The scribes, were they not friends? I choose to think they brought us here. To be closer together, not to be apart.
The rites do tend to teach something of trust. The moon-touched girl has greater understanding than it seems.
The 8 scribes, they so inspire me, and now I feel that I've grown somehow closer to them, maybe? Jumps and power jumps farther than usual, while sprinting phase slows nearby adversaries. The brief charge-up time before Faye can cast her aura is greatly reduced. We'll go with that. Casting aura is really nice.
Until the next rite.
Back at the wagon after prevailing over the fate rather soundly, you're about to join the others discussing the outcome when Wolfred finds you. Good work back there, my boy. Though I'm afraid I must pull you away from any revelry, for there is something you should see. Please join me outside. Look forth. The golden star reveals itself to us once more. Ooh, the big star. Indeed, somewhere deep in the infinite dark, a single star shines brighter than the rest. Back to the peak. We're gonna be against the chastity. Freaking manly again. Solium, the golden star. The rites are calling you again to the fall of Solium, where one among you may go free should you prevail. It is as we discussed. The cycle of the rites is beginning to turn more quickly. Perhaps the scribes themselves have taken notice. Fortunately, having more frequent opportunities to free ourselves is not unwelcome to our plan. I suppose it's good for everyone, including the chastity, who will oppose us next. Wolfred's ambitious plot to spark a revolution in the Commonwealth as peacefully as possible, 33%. Getting to Mount Alleydeal ought to be a little easier than before, at least. We should be able to make landing near some of the old monuments to the scribes. Let's set forth at dawn. Soon everyone is off to rest, as best they are able, knowing that another chance at liberty for one of them shall soon present itself. We got the Greater Titans, Endriga, the Fate. The Greater Titans. The stars shine strange beneath the sea. This one dared rise from the waters so that he could see them plain. The burning essences of those who came before. Our lives are but a quest to join the stars. This one longed to be the brightest, but in the downside this one met those whose own star shall doubtless burn at least as hot. Together we achieved great deeds. You may have seen some evidence of it, the remains of the Greater Titans, which once darkened this dark land, but in our kinship was the strength to conquer them. It is this one's humble charge to chronicle those deeds, and may the Titan stars never stain the sky during your time. Endriga the Widow. So I think I do get lore for picking those, so I need to try and get all of them. The boundless sea of Solace and a blackened star are all what remains of the blood titan Endriga. After this one's exile, he was joined by many of his bravest worm knights, who awakened the blood titan inadvertently while searching the downside's murky depths. Endriga was most displeased to see our hibernation end, and vowed to 4 ages of torment on us and on our sea dominion. Our assault was grander than can be described, and lasted days and days and days. The noblest of worm knights fell upon her massive form as waves which dashed themselves against the rocks. Our resolve eventually exceeded hers, and she collapsed into the seas and disappeared. This one alone remained to tell of it. The Fate. The Fate united under Many-Mane the Alpha Chief. He is brash but follows his traditions. He prizes faith, discipline, and honor, qualities he seems to lack at first. He formed the fate under the precepts of olden bylaws of his four-legged ancestors. They believed in a certain natural order in the way of things. Many wanted for the fate to likewise show respect. Initially, he only chose from other curs. He, however, urged the fate to replenish their numbers from any race or ethnic group thus willing. Thus shall they anticipate what is to come, with open eyes and minds, and never frown upon what is in store for them. Oops. Faye. Faye seems very happy about something, and has been chanting softly to herself. On closer inspection, however, she seems to be engaged in conversation with the wagon wall. And so, after the rite he said to me, I think he said to me, farewell. Can you believe it, little brother? He said that, then he left to go find Mr. Dalbert, who went on ahead? And so I think that maybe we're friends now, don't you think so too? We have a lot in common, don't we? Friends are supposed to have a lot in common, right? For instance, we're both fighting for those we care about, for those who helped us when we needed it, is that not so? He's very lucky to have met Mr. Dalbert, isn't he? She falls silent for a time, then. It cannot be that the 8 scribes intended that all of us just have to fight each other all the time. It just cannot be. So many whom we face, they don't like us very much, do they? Because if we prevail against them, it must mean that they cannot go home, even if they really want to. So that's why they don't like us. Back home, when they told me to stop being me, I didn't like them either. You want to know what I think, little brother? I think the scribes put us together in all this so we can learn from one another and grow closer together as friends. That is what I think, little brother, and I told them so. And maybe the next time I see Almer and Mr. Dalbert again, they will be happier to see me then. She bounds off, noticing you as she goes. Hi, mister. You sense some burden has been lifted from her, and her knowledge of the rites, however informal it may be, has crystallized into a deeper understanding. Faye gained +1 hope permanently. Wish her well. Being here in Flagging Hands continues to sap most everyone's spirits. Jeez. Screw this place. We have to stop at Emperor's Fall. You sense Sir Gilman shall gain favor from the scribes if you land here. You sense Pometha shall gain favor from the scribes if you land here. Who do we want to let go next? That's what I want to know. Who would I get rid of? Probably Gilman, because I suck with him. You make landing on the sacred Mount Aladil, upon whose summit the next liberation rite shall soon take place. You wonder who among you may regain his or her freedom this time. Wolford finds you after the post-flight inspection. We shall have to take the rest of the trip to Fall of Solium by land. May we soon liberate another one of our own there. That should raise the chances that our plane shall ultimately succeed. The Beyonder Crystal seeks Faye. Ooh, that's good timing. Once more you've returned to me. What is it, reader? Scribe trial for Faye. Then who exactly do you have in mind? You asked Sandra to administer one of her special trials for Faye? I must admit I do sense something from that one. I once had a wild heart myself, quite like her own. We shall see if there's more to her than that. Let's bring her forth. Soon Faye arrives in heat of the summons. The scribes. I think that if I listen carefully that I can hear them calling out to me. Apparition Sandra appears and unfastens her mask. Listen well, girl. The place where you reside at present has but a single rule, which is you answer to me here. Wow, okay, I will. Such naive enthusiasm. Now be silent. It is plain to me that you have much to learn as yet about the rites, but you have learned something, and I would see you prove it, without the benefit of anyone save for your reader. Okay. Are you out there to help me with this, mister? Yep. What the heck was that? Like all this camera shenanigans. I hate these little birds. God dang it. They're so annoying. God, it's so quick. Okay, how did I do? How did I do? I must admit that you did better than I had expected, girl. You passed this trial of yours. Some congratulations are in order. To you and also to your lovely reader. Now farewell. Sandra's favorite. Complete 5 scribe trials. Did I imagine all that, mister? Because I hope I didn't. Wow, what is that you have there? Kaelmer's Anklet. Rank 20. After Faye casts her aura, it can bounce off of objects and solid surfaces. Ooh, that's cool. We'll go ahead and give that to her. You know, my lovely reader, I must admit that I did not expect your little followers to be quite so receptive to instruction as thus far they have proved. I know not whether they owe it all to you, or have somewhat more to them than I was first inclined to think. In any case, however, I am pleased that they are not entirely disgraceful. I like to keep my expectations well in check, seeing as I have been thus expelled until the end of time, though it is pleasant when those expectations are exceeded every now and then. Although I cannot quite recall when last that was. But the best part of all this are these brief times in which you visit me in my domain. I know you cannot for long. This damned crystal in which I am enthralled shall see to that. Though as you perhaps surmised, whenever it decides that one of your little friends is worthwhile enough, why, I can offer them a trial, and likewise I can offer you a chat. Sometimes I think as you achieve those trials of mine, perhaps it does something to trim the length of my eternal banishment, eternity being what it is. However, perhaps not. Still, if the trophy of those blasted scribes are worth something to you, then all you need is but to brave my trials and they can be yours, and perhaps there's good in it for me as well. Then something changes in her and she changes the subject. I've likely said too much. I'm not to influence you in your use of the Beyonder crystal. It is not there to be tampered with by anyone including me. Forget what I said. Ooh. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do from now on, is I'm going to free my companions that have already completed a trial, so I can complete it with all of them eventually. See, I think next is going to be Gilman. Later that day, you accompany Sir Gilman into the sublime grandeur of Emperor's Fall, where a monument to Golgothathian awaits you. A pathway on the outskirts of Mount Aladiel's nameless lower summits. Those who fail to traverse Emperor's Ascent often end up dashed upon these rocks. Second of the 8 scribes of the Book of Rites, known as the Oath Taker or the Repentant. The Empire's Master General entered exile of his own volition to pursue his liege. Perhaps due to the nature of this place, you begin to sense Sir Gilman's inner thoughts, as clear as if he were speaking aloud. Have this night's glory days gone by, he often wonders? Perhaps you know the answers to that. Please do not spoil it for him. Soon you and he are finished paying your respects. You return to the wagon in silence, feeling as though Golgothathian has shown you favor. At dawn you shall begin your ascent. For now the solitude here is fit for pursuing your vocations. Gilman gained +2 hope. Sir Gilman is fuming in anger over something, so much so that you're hesitant to approach him, but you approach him anyway. Exile is too light a sentence for this knight. He notices you then and seizes up. He begins acting rather nonchalant, as though his outburst did not just transpire. Oh, greetings to you, noble Master Reader. What brings you to this knight this afternoon? Ask him if everything is alright. You maintain a gentle tone with him and ask whether there is something he might wish to discuss. Sir Gilman perhaps could benefit from talking through his woes. He stands there for a time, silent and dejected, but then... Master Reader, this knight cannot escape the horrors of his past. It seems that you would hear them. Then you have this knight's apologies ahead of time for burdening you further with his troubles. Having said that, here, then, are the troubles you requested. You are, of course, familiar with the siege of the Spiral Sanctum. For this knight, the memory of it is like a wound which will not close. This knight stood there on the front lines whilst the high-wing remnants descended upon us. So furious was their assault that our chain of command was ruptured instantly. We of the Sea Dominion, we require orders to perform our duty. Without such orders, we surely made a very easy target there that eve. One by one, then 2 by 2, they picked us off, becoming bolder, some of them, shrieking with laughter all the while. This night, he saw his comrades cast aside like sea flies. How this knight survived, he does not know for certain even now. Perhaps it was that he attempted to pursue and to detain his own knight commander, whom you met when you first met this knight. That cursed Sir Deluge. If not for his craven cowardice, the Spiral Sanctum, it might have held at least a while longer. But instead we were routed, rendered spineless both in form and deed. Sir Deluge was first to turn and flee as our chain of command crumbled. And as for this knight, he failed to catch his knight commander. He must have looked a coward too. Thus came the time for penance, and this night, he insisted on the only course of action reasonable. He insisted on the sentence to the downside. And as you can plainly see, his wish was then fulfilled. How absurd that he should re-encounter his old knight commander here soon after. Thus did this knight become obliged once more to Sir Deluge. We took to the waters in the Sea of Solace, where soon we met the Pyre Hearts, a triumvirate exclusive to our kind. It was plain to see that they lacked wherewithal, and Sir Deluge, they thought he could provide it, the leadership they sought, and his was too much of a coward to decline. As for this knight, being of the Sea Dominion, he had little choice but to comply, or so at first he thought. When he encountered you in the Nightwing, something awakened within him. With so little honor left to lose and so much left to gain, it became eminently clear that this knight stood a better chance within your ranks than those of Sir Deluge. And there is little left to say. This knight cannot escape his past, and yet, he chooses to believe that he was spared that day not merely by coincidence. Perhaps Under King Ori's yet has plans in store in which this knight may play a part. This knight, he clings, however vainly, to that hope. He slithers away, his head bowed low. It seems best to leave him be for now. You sense he feels relieved at having shared all this. Roster bio. Astral sign Scorpus. He was born on the 3rd of 11th moon, suggesting he is driven and fixated. Crime none. He survived the siege of the Spiral Sanctum, though technically did no wrong. Motive not applicable. The records state he volunteered for exile after the shameful outcome of the battle. He was a knight-errant of the Sea Dominion who sought glory in the Commonwealth, where he became a frontline fighter in the never-ending war against the Harps. In this, he fared much better than most of his kind, until the day of the disastrous siege of the Spiral Sanctum, where his entire regiment was destroyed in an ambush. As one of the sole survivors of this incident, Sir Gilman accepted full responsibility for the outcome and volunteered to go into exile as penance for his failure. And he has completed the rite, so... or the special trial, or whatever. We'll mentor, because Tizo has like 1,000,000 inspiration. Tizo is more than pleased to hear you tell him of the rites. Tizo gains a somewhat stronger grasp of how to better pass the celestial orb through strength of will and trust in one's triumvirate than through dexterity alone. Tizo just had a flash of inspiration about his role in the rites and is part of the Nightwings. If banished, Tizo drops a moon sign allies can instantly transport to from their Pyre. Tizo's implode ability can banish adversaries in a much wider area. After casting his implode, Tizo returns much faster. Last laugh is awesome. Pyre damage seems great too. We'll do this. We'll do big implode and then additional Pyre damage. Tizo expresses fascination with the stars and their relation to the rites. High Road. You sense Headwind shall gain favor. Sense Fate. Well, I'm going to include Headwind for sure and not Fae, so Temple High Road it is. On the way to the summit, you pass a monument to Lusclorian, and Headwind appears to take notice. Or happens. We have to prevail. Whether on my behalf or not, I do not care right now. We have to prevail for everyone's sake. Please help us do this. Help us. He says a little after paying his respects. However, as you prepare to continue your ascent, you sense that Lusclorian has shown you favor. Headwind gains +2 presence. You and your companions gather once more at the Scribe's Gate, where a single narrow trail leads upward towards the summit, past an archway carved of stone. Come this way, please. The minstrel leads you towards the archway where his counterpart awaits. The exiles of the Nightwings have returned. They have. Greetings, Celeste. She all but ignores him and motions to the rest of you. Now then, each of you, in turn, please state your name and what it is you seek whilst crossing Scribe's Gate. Please do just as she says. Everyone steps forth, one after another, much like before. Faye passes through the gate. Pamitha, Gilman, Edwin, Dodariel, Tizo, Wolfred. No one is left to go but you. You step forth and declare yourself as you did before. The Guardian of Scribe's Gate regards you with a still expression, then she addresses all of you in her formal manner. The 8 scribes bid the Nightwings welcome go forth with glory. The lone minstrel glances up at the Gate Guardian. You have our gratitude, Celeste. But she pays him no heed. Again, you gain the top of Mount Aladiel, from which the downside sprawls before you. You wonder whether one among you shall soon follow Ruki from his place. Oh, hey guys, you know, it gets real cold up here sometimes, waiting for customers, so come in, okay? Good luck in the big battle thing you got. That's where you're going, isn't it? I heard it's going to be exciting. So I'm going to do Gilman, Jadariel, and Hedwyn. Commence. Time has come for your second liberation rite to commence. You observe the lone minstrel and Volfred speaking in hushed tones, but cannot sense the topic or the tone. Then Volfred looks up at you. I trust that you're feeling as prepared as possible, my boy. Each rite is consequential to our journey in its own respect, though these liberation rites have a more immediate effect. It's somewhat crass, however. I've gone and estimated by how much each of our companions may contribute to the outcome of our plan should they be liberated here. Factors such as their previous occupation, innate tendency to lead, and oratory skill contributed to my assessment. It's nothing personal, for we are all in this together. Besides, we all ought to return in time, if possible. Know simply that for each one of us who goes, in so doing he or she shall rise our total chances of success. Reader, sir, this night you shall confront the chastity. They have already appointed Manly to be liberated should they manage to prevail. We all have faith in you, my boy, and lo, even the stars agree on this account. So we already did Endriga. Adversaries gain plus 30. We'll go with Archbeast Sungrise. At the start of this rite, your adversary's Pyre shall automatically gain plus 30. Star of the World Titan, once slain by the 8 scribes atop Mount Aladil.
Archbeast Sungrise.
Or should we go for all of them? I don't know about that. We'll take our time. I don't want to make the liberation one too hard.
The Nightwings have returned unto the fall of Solium, at which the scribes first formed their sacred union. At stake this night is freedom and prosperity. But only for one exile who prevails in this liberation rite. Your many adversaries all did strive to earn this opportunity. 'Twas the chastity which earned it. Who shall be absolved is up to all of you.
Great, they have 130. Pyre's burn in each of the triumvirate is present and prepared. I think I gave them that, actually. What am I talking about? I concur. The Pyre's burn in each of the triumvirates is present and prepared. Then, anointed one of the chastity, come forth now and declare yourself and pay any respects you have unto your adversaries, the Nightwings. Manly flourishes onto the grounds and grasps his mask in his spindly fingers. Warmest salutations to you all upon this blessed eve. I am H. Manly Tinderstoff, and I must say that I am very moved to be part of these proceedings. It shall be my humblest of privileges to return, quite soon I hope, unto the Commonwealth, where I shall dedicate myself in full towards the betterment of that society. I long to be part of this glorious tradition, even when my freedom is rightfully restored. For it is not the case that exiles such as we are called upon to lead. How you govern in your Commonwealth is not our business here. Your intentions shall mean nothing if you do not prevail in this right, Manly. Oh, but I mean no offense. Meant no offense at all. I shall serve well these rights, I promise. Why, I should think I shall be sending many exiles here into the downside to replace me. I can think of quite a few who I think would benefit from experiencing this wonderful tradition for themselves. Then Manly covers his face again. Now as for you, Nightwings, make no attempt to undermine me here, and nothing shall befall you or your loved ones in the Commonwealth. Is it a deal? That's an ass. Now then, have the Nightwings reached a decision on whose behalf they shall conduct the liberation rite? Reader, I am bound to tell you once more, the first companion on whom you choose, or companion whom you choose, shall go free this very night if you prevail. Only the enlightened may be thus anointed. Not all among you may yet be ready. The other two chosen for the triumvirate shall lend their aid. Oh, right. You have to be enlightened.
Who would you set free?
Oh, Gilman's one of them. Perfect. Anoint Sir Gilman.
Sir Gilman.
Has this knight at last regained his honor? Let us now find out.
Who shall lend him support?
Edwin?
Edwin.
I have your back, Sir Gilman. Let's get you home. And Jadariel.
Jodariel.
Understood. Let us return him home.
Very well.
Now it begins. Do me this favor, if you please, and stand aside like a good sport there, I promise to reward you handsomely once I am free.
Commence.
Crap. That guy had a huge aura. Look at that. Oh, that was Manfred that did that. Oh, come on. Snuck it in there somehow. This huge arena makes it hard. Crap. Oh, what's this now? It seems to me the scribes so enjoy our company, the entertainment we provide, that they have deigned to reignite our pyres. Observe. Something stirs in the sky. If the heavens are to rain and reignite your pyres, then the rite shall continue, ere one pyre or the other is put out. What?
That manly Tinderstaff has such a mind for politics. Would that he focused on the rights. Edwin doused the adversary's flames. There.
Oh, this isn't good. Okay.
Jodariel plunged into their pyre. when plunged into their pyre. The rite is nearly ended.
Almost missed.
Goes Sir Gilman into flame.
3.
Didn't see it coming. They simply threw it in. And
Later.
there it is, at last. The Nightwings proved their worth. Their adversaries they defeated utterly. Thus ends the liberation rite. And thus the scribes have chosen. The exile appointed by the Nightwings shall be free. Absolved of all misdeeds, return to glory in the Commonwealth. His adversary and all others shall remain to carry out their rightful sentences.
Why, this is an utter outrage. Have you any idea what you've done, you ingrates? Sir Gilman stares at nothing in particular. You sense he is still taking in what has transpired and what it means for him. He has regained his freedom. So then, this night he is to be free? He is to be free? Nay, but that would mean... Why, that would mean his honor is restored. One cannot go back unto our Commonwealth by any other means. This night's exile was self-wrought, his disgrace profound. That he had been atoned under the eye of the Underking, and those of all his noble comrades. He begins to grow very emotional, and then... This knight loves you all! He loves you all, that you would strive for him and let him join your noble quest. This knight does not feel as though he is deserving this outcome yet. The result appears inarguable. Even now this knight is drawn into the Shimmer Pool. Our time grows brief. Therefore, know this, beloved friends. This knight shall ever strive on your behalf there in the Commonwealth. Though his honor may have been restored, his true journey only now begins. And so, good friends of the Nightwings, this knight must now bid you farewell. However, the bonds we form together shan't be broken by mere distance, nay. Strive on, good friends, strive on. You can still hear Sir Gilman as he vanishes into the Shimmer Pool. If this lowly knight could have achieved such glory, surely can you all. For now, farewell, farewell.
Godspeed, Sir Gilman. The 8 scribes are ever merciful. By their grace, the cycle of the rites may soon commence again. May the scribes have mercy on us all.
You return to the wagon after having prevailed against the chastity and the liberation rite. Well done, everyone. May the rest of us soon follow. It seems our group grows smaller. You succeeded in liberating Sir Gilman, who returned to the Commonwealth in glory. We did what we could. With each liberation rite, we strive to advance our plan. A brighter future awaits at the end of our path, for now we must persevere. Plan's probability of success, 39%. Speaking of which, reader, I take it you have seen the stars, or I should say the lack thereof? You have or did. Once more the sky is all abyssal darkness following the liberation rite. No stars illuminate themselves to guide you further on your path. And let us go once more to Moonlight Alcove. I have an errand I must run. Besides, once we arrive, best we recover now and make our way southward at first light. Got some more pages. Sungrise, or whatever, however it was pronounced. Know you the sacred Mount Aladil, the highest peak within the lowest land? Then know that it is no mere mountain, but the fractured bonework of the world titan himself, the archbeast Sungrease. I'm gonna say Grease, Sungrease. This one's bog-dwelling companion Melith is too mild in her account of our ascent. 'Twas not a pleasant mountain hike, but a pitched battle spanning 17 full moons. Finally, the 8 of us, we climbed atop the brow of old Sungrease. We merged our strength and struck the mortal blow, such that the archbeast shattered finally to pieces. 'Tis no mere myth that from the archbeast's eye the shimmer pool emerged, the sole means of freedom from this land. Chastity. Those bearing the name the Chastity all count themselves disciples of Luce Glory in the 100 Mines, known firstly for his wisdom, but also cherished for his modesty, integrity, and kinship. Sklorian's priority in forming his triumvirate was to instill in all of his subjects a deep-seated deference and respect for the rules governing the liberation cycle. The cycle of the rites needs to be respected to be understood, and needs to be understood to be respected. Sklorian said. Thus the Chastity are emissaries of the cycle. Should they earn back their liberty, then they shall spread enlightenment itself, and all of us shall grow. On mercy. Mercy is the beating heart of a truly free society. Mercy even for the perpetrators of the darkest deeds. As our liege Sulian drifted in an ocean of regret, he found there mercy, or rather it found him. And it saved his life. Mercy, freedom, they are intertwined. A society which raises a clenched fist against its own shall follow the doomed path of the Empire of Sar. Ours shall be a merciful society. May the perpetrators of the darkest deeds be sent to join us here, where they may learn as we have. Mercy shall engender union among all our different kind. We shall stand shoulder to shoulder, equals in the same society. Faye seems to be in a happy mood, though she always seems to be around Jadariel, who is listening to her with patience. So, I would just look within the sallow caps each daybreak for the morning dew to drink, and once in a while I would find maybe a stream to drink from too. Though I'd get very thirsty sometimes too. I tried drinking tree sap once. It wasn't very good. Really it was very bad, I guess. She seems to be discussing how exactly she managed to survive in the downside all alone for so long. Jadariel watches her intently all the while. Food, well, food was harder to find, usually because, this is a bit embarrassing, but I tried to never harm a living thing, you know, because it makes me very sad. But sometimes it is the way of things, I understand, I do. And so I would eat as often as I needed to, and tried a lot of different things to see if they were good. Most of them weren't, though. But I got by. I learned to get by. I already knew how. A little bit, because back home where I came from, there I had to get by there too. Here, well, it was harder, but it wasn't that much harder, really, in a way. Jadariel remains silent for some time as Faye trails off, then she embraces Faye and holds her there gently. Faye lets out a breath but says nothing either for a while. Faye, may I ask a question of you? Me? Oh, of course. What question is it? How old are you? Do you know? Oh, I'm 19 years old. That is how old I am, I think. Truly. Then you have seen a lot and not a lot of time. Know that what you have achieved, it is a feat. I have known seasoned soldiers who could not have lived through the experiences you have described. Oh, really? Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. You have seldom seen Faye look so joyful as this moment. As for Jadariel, you could count on one hand the number of times you have seen a smile play across her lips. You leave them to their conversation. Okay, that's where I'm going to stop for tonight. My throat's killing me, and that was a good stopping point anyway. We freed Wyman, or Gilman, I mean. Oh, not sure who's sticking around right now. Let me take a look. Jay, looks like you're there. You might be AFK. Thanks for popping in for a bit, Jay. I'll be playing some more tomorrow night, And after I eat, I'll message you and maybe we can play some games for a little bit. But I'm going to get the outro going for now, and that'll be that. See you guys next time.